And we are back on the G Show with Justin. That's right, me and Cyrus. Of course, walking you all through the 30th edition of the G1 Climax in New Japan Pro Wrestling. We have cleared week one. We are barreling into week two. Quite a weird week for us. There's going to be two more shows after this. There's going to be one tonight and one tomorrow. We'll obviously talk about the schedule at that point. But I'm here with Cyrus, man. What's going on, Cyrus?
Not much right now. I'm playing Tony Hawk and I'm playing Tony Hawk right now, and I got the lip stall balance. I'm trying to get the goal.
Oh my god!
Where you got to do it for like a whole hour.
we have been addicted to this game for a month, boy. I don't even know. Like, I can't play anything else. I really can't.
Outside of the online challenges, I might actually want to try to 100% this.
Well, it might be a little tough to 100% it because the level 100 trophy hasn't actually been obtained yet. No one's gotten it. No one has it. Because in order to get 100%, you have to get to level 100.
Oh, damn. And you got to play a lot of online, which is not something I'm trying to do at the current state right now. I just think it's far too easy. But
so you have to, you not only have to do that, but you have to get all of the get theirs.
Oh,
and for anyone who hasn't played, because that's part of the trophy list, and that's actually part of the way that you get to level 100. And of course, if anyone doesn't know, obviously we're talking about Tony Hawk's 1 and 2, which got re-released last month, and we have been playing through that. And the get there challenges, like they take the old challenges or the old levels, and they give new challenges in them. And one of the challenges is literally you do a line throughout the whole stage, and then end with like a certain amount of gaps. So it's like, what is it, like 3 or 4 gaps in a row? But they're very spaced out. They're super spaced out throughout the whole stage. Some of them take you across the whole stage, and then you have to complete it.
You got to do it without the cheats, right?
Yes, no cheats allowed.
Okay.
You already know there's no cheats allowed, bro.
No, sorry, because I haven't really thought about it. But yeah, right now, 1 million with the 20 modifier on. I'm trying to knock out 2 challenges in one. So
good luck with that, bud. That is going to be that's going to be quite a challenge for you. I'm currently moving through beating the game with all the characters. Then I'm going to do the gaps, and then I'm going to go back to the get theirs. I was trying to do the get theirs, for weeks at this point, and it was very hard for me to get that.
I tried to do the get there in school not too long ago. Just try it in passing. And I was just like, yeah, this sucks.
It's been very bad. But one thing that has not been bad is the G1 Climax 30 so far. I have to say, I'm very happy with it, man. And maybe it's because I haven't seen this style of wrestling in a while. Maybe it's because of the changes that we've been talking about in terms of that. Yeah, and maybe it's the changes in terms of how long the matches are, even though they're starting to get a little bit longer. But even if they're, these are still breezy shows to get through, other than the odd 1 or 2 matches here and there.
Mm-hmm.
I pretty much enjoyed it. So let's get into the A block for night 5. This happened on Saturday night, going into Sunday morning. So I watched it the same day I watched the Clash of Champions. Quite I have to say, like, probably like the weirdest, like, from
just
one thing to the next. Yeah, the tonal shift is just so crazy on this one. This was the A block. It was the A block night here, and let's just go right off from the top. You had Taichi versus Yujiro at the top of the card. Obviously, Taichi's been killing it so far, and Yujiro has just been there. But what did you feel about this match?
If you are on a time constraint and you really needed to get these matches out of the way, you can absolutely skip this one. Like, this match isn't good. I'm just gonna be really real. Like, this match isn't good. I like this night more than night 6, but this match really stinks. And we saw amazing stuff from Taichi at, like, sort of the start of the tournament, and now Yujiro just made him look bad, man.
Yeah, what did you? I was gonna say, would you like this better, the Taichi match with Yujiro or the Okada match with Yujiro? I think the Taichi match, the Taichi match is way better than the Okada match with Yujiro.
I would say, because because with Taichi, my bar is lowered. Like I expect greatness out of Okada, and he just gave us like nothing.
Yeah.
You know, like he couldn't work it. He couldn't work his magic, and that's a shame. But with Taichi, is just like, you know, the bar is low. So it's just like, this is exactly what I expected.
They both tried. They both cheated during the match. They were choking each other and stuff like that. Basically, the story is like who could cheat the most. We've seen this countless times. I think we've even seen it twice before on this very series of this tournament. But it ended with Taichi getting a low blow and the Gato clutch after in 11 minutes. I gave it about 2 stars. I thought it was what it was. It was about 11 minutes. I couldn't hate it too much. And that put Taichi up at about 6 points.
Yeah, it's he's going on strong.
Could you believe it? We believe, Taichi? We believe?
Hey, man. Everybody's just going to have to come to the inevitable, bro. Jay White, man. He's the wall. He's the gold standard right now.
We're going to talk about Jay White in just a second. But let's get to Jeff Cobb first. Next match we had was Jeff Cobb versus the Neverweight Open champion Minoru Suzuki. Both of them coming in with 2 points apiece. This is the only, I think, like the second meeting between these two. The first time was in Rev Pro quite some time ago. I don't feel as though, like, again, I'm not sold on Jeff Cobb, and this G1 is not selling me anymore. I don't think the booking is helping him either. And he's one of like 2 or 3 people that the booking is just doing nothing for on this G1. But this match didn't hold me at all, I have to say. Like I think Suzuki is one of my favorites on New Japan, but this one was just kind of like there. It was like it never left the second gear, and Cobb just never looked very imposing or threatening to Suzuki at all.
He never looked strong at all in this match. He is fighting deadly from underneath, and I just thought like maybe Suzuki would just like play it up, like, you know, would want to, you know, do a role reversal because Cobb is much bigger than he is, you know. But seeing Jeff Cobb, a person this big, get manhandled by Suzuki, I was just like, it is what it is. And same, I used to be a big fan of Jeff Cobb when he was in a Chosen Bro. Like I seen some of his stuff at PWG, but so far in New Japan and when he did the brief thing in AEW, it just hasn't moved me.
Yeah, and usually you would think like, you know, people who are his style come over, like a Michael Elgin, the Viking Raiders who came over a while ago. I mean, even let's go even further back to Big Van Vader. They always, you know, there's always a place for them in New Japan, and they always do super well. I just don't think Cobb is connecting, and I think it might be just because he's just a shade over good. He's very average to me. But here, Suzuki won the match. I think Cobb will be picking up his third loss very, very soon on this G1.
Yeah, let's get it out of the way.
Next up, we have Kota Ibushi versus Tomohiro Ishii. This was one of my most anticipated matches in this G1. These guys, you know, let's just say they always give their all in matches against each other.
Did you enjoy it? Because your tweets gave me an impression that you didn't really like it too much. Or am I just tripping? Or is it just an observation?
It was an observation, and if anyone hasn't seen, I tweeted that, you know, Kota and Ishii, you know, going so hard to just relative silence on night 5 of a G1 when there is at least another 10 days left of this, it was interesting to me. I thought it was kind of pointless for them to have this match this early. Now, I liked the match. I felt as though, again, like there were many things that kind of went against them. The crowd wasn't really moving, and I think that's been a constant problem in the G1 this year, is that I know they're not allowed to cheer and chant or whatever, but sometimes they just don't have any reaction to anything but through claps or whatever. And that's why I appreciate when people like Jay White or even Juice Robinson attempt to get them into, you know, interactive into what's going on in front of them. And this one was just kind of like, it never felt like there was any type of like, it felt like they were just running through the motions here. And I guess the fans picked up on that. They've seen this match at least 3 or 4 times already.
Yeah, and well, in New Japan, that's what you get. You're gonna get many rematches, but
this felt like the same one to me from last year, and I thought the one from last year was better than this. Or not
Is the
last
one
year,
for-
2 years ago. 2 years ago. It was a G1 28.
Is that the one where he did the flip off the balcony?
Yes.
Okay, I don't think it's like this. I don't think it's like that match at all. Honestly, this is a never open championship match if we ever seen one. These two guys were just like hitting each other really hard. Isn't as quote unquote like flippy as he normally is. I think he toned out a lot of that down for this tournament. But they were brutal. Like they were really fighting in there.
Yeah, they were. I mean, you had the unprotected kicks to the chest and face. You had the punch to the throat, which I thought was kind of wild.
The punch to the throat, I was just like, all right, let's dial it back, fellas.
Yeah, and it just never felt like it was like. I mean, it felt like a war for sure, but it did feel like at time it was like going through the motions. Like, okay, I'm going to hit you with something really violent because this is just what we do, and that's just the thing we do. I was concerned about the kick that Ishii took to the face. It did look really like bad. It looked like he was legit concussed, and I again, like it got really chippy at the end, but the Kamigoye reversals I thought were really amazing. And in the end, Ibushi wins, which sends Ishii down to 0-3 early in the G1.
This was his kill. Oh damn, I didn't even notice.
Yeah, it sent him to 0-3, and Ishii was desperate not to lose two. He was desperate not to lose two in a row here, and ended up picking the win. Ishii is effectively out of this already. They're cutting it. They're cutting him down really quick.
That sucks. And he already fought Suzuki, so he's not going to get a championship match. And I doubt he's going to get a win over because if he gets a win over Taichi, then that means
spoiler
tag team opportunity. But
yeah,
who's his tag team partner? Because if it's Yano, please kill me.
Well, it would be. It could be. Isn't Goto part of the 6-man thing? Isn't he the?
Yes.
The 6-man champions together.
If it's Goto, then I'm okay with that. But them taking it off of Zack Sabre Jr. and Taichi. But
yeah.
It is what it is.
Yeah, it was. It was like it was brutal. I went around. What did I give this one? I went around 4. I had to give it a solid 4. I thought it kind of came under the previous 2 matches that I've seen them have at G1 28 and I think 27. I think the one at 27 was one of my match of the year's contenders. Like I really love that match. We're gonna get into Shingo versus Will Ospreay. Hey man.
This one set the block on fire. Now, just a disclaimer, at least from my point of view, everybody is very upset, or Ospreay doing his, he hasn't done it for this whole tournament, but he decided to do it in this Shingo match where he just,
the counters.
Yeah, the flippy shit, and I thought he was moving past that.
Yeah, it looked the counter stuff in the beginning looked real bad. I'll admit that.
Personally, I didn't enjoy it, but there's a whole match ahead of them, and it's actually really really good. But the clip has blown up of that sequence, and now people are starting to put the fire on Ospreay now.
Yeah, and I mean, me, it's very shocking for me to have this opinion. Yeah, it's bound to happen, but people are probably gonna be shocked to say that I think people need to chill out. I think that the match ended up being real good after that. I think Shingo definitely brought it, and this felt like desperation from him, and there was a lot of really good stuff in the middle of the match. Again, I think that people you either love or hate. There's no in between the Shingo Ospreay series. Their match last year. People were calling it the greatest match of all time. People were saying that it was completely overrated. I kind of fell in the middle of it. I thought it was kind of fine. I was like, yeah, it did go a little bit too long, but with this one, it was 22 minutes. It felt really like it was supposed to be. It felt like it was long enough where it didn't go too far. Shingo won with the Last of the Dragon, and again, there were ups, there was downs, but Shingo saves himself and gets his first win on the board.
My face when Shingo won. Oh my lord, I was so happy.
The pack was in the air. I caught the run.
It really was, man. I already had the candle lit. I had the lighter ready, and I was just like, let's just do this thing. But he stuck it out and won. And you say the match is like 22 minutes, and everybody is like pissing themselves, and they're like mad at like this 26-second spot fest or whatever people want to call it. Like, it's a really good match outside of that, and also it happens pretty early, so you have like a whole match ahead of you.
Yeah, and this is Ospreay's first match that he's lost. I think it's good to get this out the way here to give you kind of like an idea of like, because I do still think that this is coming down to White and Ospreay in the end. So, this was a good place to start him here with a great match and a really well fought and hard fought victory for Shingo to give him a little bit of like a desperation tactic where it's like, yo, if I lose one more time, I'm done. So he has to perform and be perfect throughout the rest of the tournament. We're going to go to the main event now. Jay White with 4 points going against Kazuchika Okada with 2. Jay White and Okada have had a very like well-documented feud. Jay White beat him at G1 28. Then he beat him in Wrestle Kingdom 13, which was one of the most shocking victories I've ever seen. But then White lost it like 3 months later, I believe at G1 Supercard, and ever since then it's kind of been Jay White trying to catch up. And Jay White's the example of someone getting a lot very early, and at first it didn't really work for me, but now I'm completely all in. So we have to see this new Okada, who me and you haven't admittedly been too high on, against this Jay White. And how did you feel about this match?
We gonna speak on that. Jay White has, he's truly grown, and it's undeniable at this point. Like, Jay White is really good. Like, I'm sorry, like he's been doing amazing this whole tournament, and Okada just hasn't. And even Jay White couldn't bring out like the old and good Okada again, because like, what is it, towards the end of this match where Okada's really starting to feel it, like the revenge, he's upset, because it's the anniversary of something. I forget what. I think this is like when Gato betrayed him or something.
I think so, yeah.
Yeah, so, there's a lot of emotion here. Okada should be fired up, and then, stuff is coming together, like the match is starting to pick up, and then he just does that stupid
the money clip.
Yeah, whatever the hell it's called, the money clip?
Yes, it's called the money clip.
Oh, that is so awful. It looks bad, and it's
I mentioned it last episode. And I don't think you caught that was the actual name. And I was expecting Cyrus to like physically recoil in horror at that name. But I think now I got the reaction that I wanted last episode now.
Okay, like a week later. Nah, it's just so stupid. Like, I really thought like here was going to be the turning point for Okada. Like, Jay White was going to truly bring out the old Okada again, and maybe we finally would have seen a damn Rainmaker. And
I love the Jay White's character bits here. I love Jay White doing the Rainmaker pose.
Oh yeah, that's cool. Fire. No, we go give Jay White his praises, but Okada he keeps doing the discus lariat, which used to be called this, like they used to call it like a spinning Rainmaker before.
Yeah.
But now they just eliminated it.
Yeah, it's weird. Like, Okada's not really. They're going with this old, broken down Okada storyline, and I'm not buying that shit because Okada is only 32 years old. He's not old at all, like, or broken down. He's still quite young, especially for New Japan. Tanahashi's like 40. A lot of people there are really old. It's like, it's very weird that they're going with this old, broken down, can he do it, can he win type storyline. Like, I know we're gonna get hit with a run, coming soon with Okada and Tanahashi especially, but it's just really weird the way that they're playing the story with Okada. I don't understand it. I think that they've done this before also, and I think that it doesn't work there. Like,
they've done it with Goto, they've done it with Tanahashi, they've done it like with Ishii. Like, it's just like a matter of time, and I think Okada truly needs to pick it up because when his match with Ospreay comes around, nigga, I need a classic.
Yeah, and again, I have Ospreay winning that one unless Okada plays spoiler and gives Ospreay his third loss, but that is actually coming up very soon. But we'll get to that later. What did you? Oh, actually, I'm sorry. Before we get to our thoughts, Jay White does win with just one. My
Crazy. Goat, man. Jay White is amazing here. Down to even before the bell rings. When Red Shoes is trying to check him, and he's just like, "We've done this before. You know what we got to do first." And then does the too sweet Negato, like
he's really found his character, and I really do enjoy it. But that was night 5 for A Block. I will probably say I would recommend the match between Ospreay and Shingo. That's probably my favorite match on the card for that night. I gave White Okada like a 3. Again, these main events aren't all hitting the same caliber that the actual like mid matches are, but or the mid show matches are. But it's very weird that they keep going to Okada for the main events. I wish they would just kind of just give it to Jay White or give it to Ospreay.
Especially Okada at this point, because I'm just not truly with it, honestly.
Yeah.
I'm over it.
Let's go to night 6. That is a B block night. We to me, before we even get into the show, I think it's probably the weakest card of the tournament so far. Let's start with a match that I know that you have a lot of feelings on. I probably feel the opposite of you. Yoshihashi versus Sanada.
Yoshihashi and Sanada. Man, match stinks, man. Like, it goes on for far too long, and I just wanted it to be over. And I didn't think it really truly needed to go that long, and it got to the point where they're just laying down and I'm just mashing fast forward like 5 seconds 5 seconds, and I think I finally had enough when Sonata could have literally just had he could have had the win if he just held the skull end longer. He goes for the he goes for the like the moonsault or whatever. Yoshihashi misses the counter and forearm strikes. All right, bro. I'm mashing the shit out of fast forward.
Yeah, it was way too long. It was also a really even match for the two competitors there. It was like Yoshihashi, who hasn't won yet at all, versus Sanada, and it's like it's very odd that they kind of went with this type of match first. Like, you would think that they would do this later down the line, and that's been my problem with these cards, is that some of these matches, the times don't add up. Why wouldn't you put the Yano match, which went for like 4 minutes, first, and then do this? Like, it doesn't make sense why they're slotting Yoshihashi in these opening matches, and they're going so damn long that they should be like, they should be co-main eventing,
right? And the next match, I'm just like, why isn't this co-main eventing? But this match against Yoshihashi and Sanada, I wasn't doing star ratings before, but if I had to, like right now, I probably would have gave it a 1.5.
That's so funny. I gave it a 3.5. I thought it was incredible. I thought it was really solid.
Oh, man. Wow. You're way more gracious than I was.
I like Yoshihashi's run. He does win here with the karma. And I thought he did a really good job here. I thought they worked hard, even though it was too long. I do agree with you there. That docked a lot of points for me, was that it went way too long. Next match, Zack Sabre Jr. versus Kenta. This is only their third match against each other, if you can believe it.
Oh, I didn't know they wrestled much before. Okay, that's cool.
Yeah, they wrestled at they wrestled in Block A last year.
How come I don't remember?
It was the last match. It was the last night. I think it's because we were so tired of it. I actually went back and I think I had my rating for that match. Let me go back. It was when we were pretty much tired of G1 at that point. We were like, "Yo, can this be over?"
Oh yeah.
We were done with G1. Let me go all the way back to this match. I gave it 3.5 stars.
Oh, okay. Well, I guess this was like the final night of the G1. We just like did the finals, and then the finals for both blocks, and then like whoever won the tournament, and then predictions. Yep. I thought this match was really good. Like,
Yeah, it was real good. Not gonna lie to you. I think Kenta has
He's found it, man.
he's found it. He might have found the perfect balance to the old him and the new him. It really, like, some of the strikes, some of the way these two landed and with these suplexes. I mean, Kenta kicking him just looked really painful. Like, you can see the meat coming off his chest from some of these kicks.
Yeah, and Zack Sabre Jr. Holding his own, but he is selling
Super
for
selling.
Kenta. Like the way he just like makes his body go limp. It is really good stuff, and
Yeah, I think one of the best stories of the match for me was Kenta attempting to do the game over and attempting to win, because he's been saying he's going to beat everyone with the game over, and and Zack Sabre Jr. saying not me, and then he counters it immediately when he tries to put him in the game over, and
instant. I could not help but laugh.
But it caused Kenta to have to go into his into the his bag of tricks. He does the green killer at the end, the draping DDT, and then he does he does the hesitation drop kick, which we haven't seen a lot from him. And then we get the double stomp, and then we get the knee and everything. But it's like, like, there was a lot of stuff Kenta was busting out that I was like, wow, he hasn't done this stuff in a really long time, and I thought it was really impressive.
It shows Zack Sabre Jr. as a legit threat and an intense competitor, because just it made me laugh when I saw him even go for the game over, and I was just like, Zack Sabre Jr. don't tap out, so I don't know what you're doing. And then before I could even pick my phone up, it was already undone.
Yeah. So the ending to this match, Zach tries to go in for basically a takedown. Gets kneed in the face, then gets to go to sleep for the win. The go to sleep, which again we haven't seen too much of in the G1 so far. Wow, amazing match! I went 4 stars on it. I thought it was really good.
4 stars. This would probably be my favorite match of between the two nights.
Yeah,
I really like this match a lot. Kenta, you remember those the weekly tweet that always come out, like, WWE wasted Kenta, blah blah blah. He's gonna show his full potential in New Japan.
Took a year.
I would say he's truly found his stride during this G1. Like, I guess the COVID vacation really did him favors, because he's like a brand new person now.
He's been healthy, and I think that was the big thing. We knew Kenta would go places if he stayed healthy, and since he's been healthy here, we've seen the difference, and I think a lot has to be said for that break that a lot of these wrestlers have taken. Next up, we have Juice Robinson versus Hiroshi Tanahashi. We've got a match here between these two.
I think I don't know about you, but for me, the ban.
It's on.
It's on.
We're banning Juice Robinson matches.
This is a no juice zone. We only water, bruh. When I think it was after this match, you were texting me, and then I was just like, man, who's Tanahashi facing? And then you sent the text. He was just like, oh, I'm on Juice and Tanahashi right now. And I said, if Tanahashi can't get a good match out of Juice, the ban is on. Like,
it was such a slow match that felt 20 minutes, but it was only 14.
Why is Tanahashi fighting from underneath this whole time? He gets no off.
You know him. He tries to make people look good. And at this moment, I can understand the psychology here. Tanahashi's already lost 2 matches. So he's desperate to stay in. So the story is that Juice has been undefeated, and he's the one coming in with the hot hand, and Tana might have lost a little bit of his confidence going in. So I get that story. I think that the desperation from Tana shouldn't have been, as you said, it shouldn't have been him coming from under. It should have been Tanahashi trying to do everything he could to win the match quickly as possible.
Because Tanahashi, when he's trying his absolute hardest, no matter how many losses there are, that's a threat, especially to somebody as young as Juice Robinson. And I felt like they probably should have like played that role just a little bit. But
Yeah.
Juice is like dominating the hell out of Tanahashi for a lot of this match, and I just think if Tanahashi probably would have turned it up at any point and started changing it towards more of his pace, maybe you could have had a better match here.
Yeah, there were some cool spots. I like the superplex into the jackhammer. I thought that was really cool.
Yeah, that was hard.
I thought the high fly flow into the roll up was a really cool near fall as well. Some really cool counters. I thought the ending was a little clunky with Tanahashi kind of slipping and falling from the pulp friction. I think Juice was kind of confused, and then he was like, "Oh yeah, the roll up."
Yeah, it was just like if it could have been a package, it would have been one. But if that's the win, and you know they're going to continue the story with Tanahashi just scraping by, then I guess I just want good matches out of it, and Juice Robinson just hasn't done it for me, honestly.
So that is Juice's first loss of the G1, Tanahashi's first or a desperate, much needed win for Tanahashi here. Next up, we have, again, confusing plot and confusing pacing here. Why wouldn't you have Yano right after the intermission here instead of Tanahashi? Just a weird way that they booked this.
Like, who put this show together? Like,
exactly. And it's a Cork and Hall show, so it's like these are like some of the bigger shows on the G1 whenever they're Cork and Hall. But
how does it feel to see Cork and Hall again? Like, just full of people.
Feels good, like, man. Like,
I don't really know a lot of venues like that, but whenever I see Cork and Hall, I'm just like, wow, you know, like it's really
school.
nice to see it again.
So old school. I wish we could get a really cool Cork and Hall in video games. You know, like,
right.
That would just be a cool look in general. Like, I know that there's like custom ones on 2K, but I just really wish we could get a really cool 3D rendered one so we could play that on you know, in a digital way. But we're saying all that to say that we are going to talk about the Toru Yano versus Evil match. Yano is still unbeaten, and Evil is coming into this. I gotta say, man, Evil's booking, as long as Jeff Cobb's booking, has not served either man. I think Evil again in ring is not my favorite, but he's just looked like a complete goof from the moment the G1 started. Like how when Kenta or Jay White eventually face Evil, how is this even, like, how can we respect him?
I was gonna ask after we talked about the match, but you saw Jay White's comment on Evil being like the leader or whatever, right?
Yes.
Man, Evil ain't my damn leader. It's like seeing this match, this man he doesn't look strong at all. He looks absolutely ridiculous. And I'm just curious, like, when is the booking gonna finally like turn in his favor? Is it gonna be when he finally faces Kenta, or when he faces Sonata or Naito? You know?
Yeah.
But like here, him and Tungo just look like absolute like idiots.
Yeah, and of course, Jay White's comments. He said that I trusted Geto while I was away to make all the approvals on new members. But as far as what will happen when we're all together, I'm waiting to find out, just like you are. I'm really hoping that someone's getting sent out.
I hope Evil catches the Blade Runner, because you were like the fourth best dude in LIJ, and now you getting punked, embarrassed by Yano. And I know Yano gets the upper hand on a lot of people, but Yano was going crazy on him and Tungo, bro.
Yeah, it was a damn joke. He looked like the smartest person in wrestling. Like he immediately ties him up, ties Togo up. And then just goes to town on Evil. There's a low blow battle where everyone takes a low blow while Red Shoes is turned around, which leads to Yano hitting low blows on both Dick Togo and Evil, which
insane
leads to
sequence.
Even with the piano wire, Evil still loses. Even with the choking and the cheating, he still loses. Like,
right?
So weird, so weird. But of course, Evil loses, sends him right back down. He's not looking too good in general with booking and just in general on the G1. Let's get to the main event here. Hiroki Goto and Tetsuya Naito. These guys have faced each other a lot in the last 5 or 6 years. they have, and again, I think one of the time Naito was like, "So you so much of a bitch that you lost to Okada and ended up joining his squad." And so like whenever I remember that interview. Whenever I remember that interview and I look at Naito's face whenever he sees Goto and he smiles, it's like, yo, he already thinks Goto is a bitch.
Naito's a big asshole for that. Like,
so of course we have Megan Thee Stallion knees Naito, or AKA Rey Mysterio knees Naito. He's back. The knees are fine. He's working. He's busting his ass off in his main event.
Yeah,
man. They went 21 minutes here. It was the shortest main event on the G1 so far.
Yeah, and you know what? You saying that it was 21 minutes, I don't know why, but like as I was watching it, it felt like a lot longer.
Yeah.
And I was getting kind of worried because I love how New Japan is structuring its shows and how these matches are going now. And watching this, I was just like, oh, this is starting to get to the New Japan pre-COVID. And that started worrying me because I don't like that New Japan anymore.
So the story that they're going with Goto is that he has a shoulder injury, and everyone in the G1 will now be targeting that injury for the end of time until the end of the tournament.
Yes.
And you had Naito.
Did you laugh when Naito he ran the ropes and then just went up to Goto and just yanked his arm?
Yeah. An asshole, a king asshole here. Naito completely, living up to his name. And again, like Naito seemed to have even gotten his swagger back with things like that. And I got to say, like, as much as they worked hard, I thought it was a little bit too plotting. I thought that, again, it's the same type of Naito match and Naito Goto match, rather, where they they work one part and Naito is cheating and he's doing all types of really asshole type stuff. And, it worked well. Goto, counters Gloria, goes back to the shoulders. He tries to go for Destino, but then Goto counters it to a reverse GTR, which is a cool spot there. And then the counter sequences were really, really good. But then Naito gets another Destino. I think it was like 3 here. And then he tries to get a second one, but it's countered into the GTW, which is another counter, which led to Naito kicking him out of it. But then he hits him with the Destino and one more for good measure to pin his old rival Goto. Really hard fought match. Again, Goto will give you a really good match. I just think that this was on the scale of all of the main events and even the really incredible Kenta Zack Sabre Jr. match, which I thought should have main evented. This was the weaker end of the G1 main event so far. I gave it 3 stars even.
I don't know if I like this main event more than the main event with Jay White and Okada. I'm not too sure. I'll probably have to give it more thought, but I did like this match a lot. Probably definitely not my favorite show this week. Not my favorite main event this week or my favorite show this week.
Yes.
But it's really nice to see. And Naito just really turn it up like it's 2017 at least.
Yeah. Let's go to the standings, shall we? On Block A, at the top of Block A, you have Taichi and Jay White, 6 points apiece, 3-0. Kota Ibushi, Will Ospreay, Minoru Suzuki, they're at 2-1, 4 points all together. Jeff Cobb, Okada, and Shingo, they're at 1-2, all of them 2 points each. And Ishii and Yujiro, 0-3, they're out completely, 0 points. They are completely out of Block A.
Does it begin where we stop watching their matches, or?
I think we should only watch them if they're facing someone that isn't 0-3. So we still have to watch a lot of the matches. So they're not going to face each other. So I think we still have to. I think we'll have to get one more person in that slot between Jeff Cobb, Okada, and Shingo before we can say, okay, we can't. This is whatever. But then again, like we still have to watch it because they could still play spoilers. So we gotta keep an eye out. So Block A looking very strong. Block B, at the top of Block B, you have Naito and Yano at 6 points apiece, 3-0.
Wait, what?
Yes,
Yano's undefeated? That's kind of crazy.
He is undefeated. He is undefeated. Yes. You have Kenta and Juice Robinson at 2-1, 4 points apiece, and you have Evil, Goto, Yoshihashi, Zack Sabre Jr., and Tanahashi at 1 and 2, 2 points each. I think B Block is going to get clapped this week. There are going to be a lot of people with 0 and 3 or 3 losses this week. Oh, and also Sonata's out. He's 0 and 3, so he's out. I shudder to
let's get that bum. Let's get that bum out of here.
What couldn't we have gotten Takahashi here instead of Sonata?
Yes, but then I was also just like, maybe we could have got him instead of Yano, but it's crazy. Also, you remember Bushi? Like, wow. I saw him at commentary, and I was just like, oh, you are LIJ. That's crazy.
Imagine being so trash. Even they have a depleted roster even, and they still didn't call on him.
Yeah. Pretty butt cheeks, bro. But I wish they would have had at least some, quote unquote junior division representation. Like, who's the Bone Soldier dude in Bullet Club?
Oh, I know you're talking about. God,
I know it begins with an I, but I'm forgetting the rest of the letters.
Ishimori.
Yeah. Have him and Hiromu at least in one of the blocks. They don't have to be in the same, but just something, because they're great. They're great competitors, and they were in the New Japan Cup. So why exclude them out of this?
So going into Korakuen Hall again, we have another night in Korakuen Hall. We have 2 more nights in Korakuen Hall. We have the A block tonight. We have Zack Sabre Jr. versus Kenta, Tanahashi versus Juice Robinson. Oh no, I'm sorry, I'm looking at the wrong one. We're looking at the 30th. Sorry. That's tonight. So tonight is actually Suzuki versus Yujiro, Ibushi versus Jeff Cobb, Okada versus Taichi, Ospreay versus Jay White. Well, it's do or die time here. Because if Ospreay beats Jay White, that's going to be a huge win for him going into this show. And the main event will be actually no. I think this is actually wrong. I'm sorry. I'm looking at something wrong. I think it's Ishii versus Shingo. Yeah, Ishii versus Shingo is main eventing.
What?
Yeah.
How was that main eventing and not?
Well, it's not clear yet.
It's just the order of matches.
It's just the order of matches that I'm reading it in. Just the order of matches.
Oh, okay. Because I'm just like, boy, the dude that's already out of the tournament and the dude that's on his way out main eventing. Like, what is going on here?
I'm reading it from not from the actual.
Okay.
Not from the actual thing there. Yeah.
I shudder to think about Ibushi and Cobb. I don't know if I'm too excited about that.
That's gonna get weird because Cobb. Well, I mean, clearly we want Cobb out at this point, right? So
yeah.
I mean, why not? So and then on October 1st, the next night at Korakuen Hall, we have Juice Robinson versus Yano. We have Goto versus. I think Juice will take this one. We have Goto versus Zack Sabre Jr. We have Tanahashi versus Yoshihashi. Kenta versus Evil in our first Bullet Club versus Bullet Club matchup. And main eventing, you have Naito versus Sonata, which shouldn't really technically main event, but Sonata could play some sort of spoiler here. So we still got to check this one out.
If that night is not better than A Block, I'm very concerned about B Block here and their competitors, because A Block, in my opinion, has been taking it stellar night after night. But I think with that card, I think B Block should finally take it.
Yeah, but I mean, you still got Ospreay and Jay White. Shingo and Ishii should be hard hitting, but Okada, yeah, you're right. Okada, Taichi, whatever. Ibushi, Jeff Cobb, whatever. Honestly, I think that one's kind of set in stone who's going to win that. And Suzuki, Yujiro, we might as well just kind of fast forward that one. So we'll see how that shakes out. But that will be this second week of G1 action. After that, we get a long break until the 5th.
Thank God.
Our next episode will be on Friday, October the 2nd. We'll be reviewing those two nights. So until then, catch up on your homework, catch up on your G1, and we are going to come right back at you guys in just 3 short days with our review of nights 7 and 8 for the G1 Climax. So for Cyrus, I'm Justin. Thank you guys for listening to the G Show. Make sure you subscribe to us at the A Show RNC and follow us at RNC Radio Live on Twitter. And send us some of your suggestions, some of your questions, and let us know how you're feeling about this year's G1 Climax. So until shit, I was gonna say next week, but until in a few days, we'll see you guys later. Peace.